Welcome back to the Finding Hope podcast. We're so glad you've joined us here today. We've got some things to share with you to hopefully help you find hope in what you're going through and maybe never asked for.
That's right. That's our whole heart, is to help you get through difficult times. And, as the Lord has helped us get through a traumatic loss in our life. And, it's made our hearts much more sensitive and caring and compassionate for others who are going through losses. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like the pain of a loss of a really close loved one. People, you understand if you've had a loss, but lots of people don't understand that. They can't comprehend it.
That's
so,
really
so that's our hope, is to bring blessing and help to you today.
Yeah. Even this morning, you got a phone call from a friend who has a very dear friend who was just placed in hospice. And even that is painful.
Yeah.
We believe God for healing to the very end, and they had been as well, but, things took a quick turn.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's going to be the end.
Yeah.
A miracle would be so welcomed.
Amen.
But, this person was really hurting, and...
the associate pastor, actually, and he was actually also calling to thank us for our book and for all that we are ministering, because he said it has really helped him as he's gone through this painful situation.
Yeah.
And I ministered to him and loved on him. He's a good friend of ours. But it's like, even pastors have to go through this kind of pain because, they're amongst the flock all the time. Evangelists can preach and minister healing and see people healed and then leave and go to another city.
Right.
But the pastors sit there with, unfortunately, even some of the ones that were healed, but then the disease came back on them.
Yeah.
And they have to sit there and work with them, pray for them, believe God with them, try to help them. But at the same time, many of them pass. And pastors are always trying to learn more of how they can be a help and comfort to those who have lost a loved one. I know that we did a podcast several years ago about our book, and a pastor was interviewing us. And he told me in the midst of that interview, he said, Charlie, I'm a better pastor now since I've read your book. And I'm not here trying to boast about our book and boast about us, but I'm just saying there's such a lack of teaching in the body of Christ on the pain of loss and how to minister to those who are grieving and hurting. I think I said this last week on the podcast, or at some point on the podcast. I know they all run together sometimes. But I said that, we really know how to rejoice, but we don't know how to weep with those who weep. And I made the comment, Jill, and I mentioned this to my friend this morning. I said, in the 40 years plus that I've been saved, 50 something? Oh gosh, 50 years. Even
50 years,
50
yes.
years that I've known Jesus, which, thank you, Lord. I don't recall ever hearing a teaching on weep with those who weep.
Yeah.
Pastors will always say, we need to have compassion for hurting people. We need to have compassion for the poor. They may mention widows, but they've never really come right out and taught on how we really need to help those who are bereaved. Mm-hmm. And that's why I feel like the Lord has mandated us to talk about it more, is because it's just not being addressed enough. And I just feel like we need to address it.
It's so true. And this week I was answering an inquiry that someone came to us on Facebook and sharing about the loss that they had in their family of their, I think, 22-year-old son, or I can't remember how old, but he had an older sister and a younger brother, and she just wanted to know what can I tell them? How did your daughters do, and how did you, just how did you move forward? And so I just shared a few things with her, but people are at a loss until you go there. Mm-hmm. until it happens to you, you just don't realize what it's going to be like and what kind of knowledge and tools and help you're going to need.
Right.
So-
In fact, you even mentioned to me that someone said recently that they had a loss in their family and they went and found our book that they hadn't read yet, or that they maybe had skimmed.
He had read it, but he went back and reread it.
Because he needed it. He didn't need it then. And
Right.
I think, recently there was a retreat overseas for missionaries that we sent a whole 44 books to bless them with and help them with. And I was mentioning to you, I haven't heard any of them come back and say thank you for the book, although many of them said thank you for your support, for this TOR. But interestingly, like you said, it's like they may not have a need for it right now, but when they do, and I hope they don't, but we all do. We'll have parents that'll pass.
Like Andrew said, it's not a matter of if.
Yeah.
It's a matter of when.
It's a matter of when, exactly. And speaking of which, I was at my aunt's funeral recently, and it was just a beautiful time. Of course, she was 89 years old. She was a month away from turning 90. And, it's interesting because we've talked about this before, that we lost Bo in January of 2009, but then in April of 2009, my dad passed. And we talk about the fact that in the shadows of Bo's passing and the pain and the brokenness and the tears, when my dad passed, I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Where some of my siblings, it really hurt them. And of course, I miss my dad. And I love him to no end, but he was 87 years old. He was a preacher. He loved God. He was just ministering. And so just in the shadows of losing Bo, it was no comparison to the pain that I had with losing Bo. And so I was with my aunt at my aunt's funeral with my cousins and my uncle, who's 92, or just turned 91, right?
91.
Just turned 91, I think.
Yeah.
And so we were, it's interesting because I wanted to go because I wanted to honor her, and I wanted to send my love and condolences to all my cousins, and especially to the family of my aunt. And it was an interesting thing, though, because as I looked at my cousin, who is the one who did the eulogy at the funeral, and I'm going to read a little bit about some of the things she said, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
But as I looked at her,
She's
in my mind, and I'm just being honest and transparent here, in my mind, I thought, well, their mom was 89. She was a wonderful lady. They've had a full life with her. It was just time. It was time that she left. She could have lived a few more years, but nonetheless, she died. And so, she was satisfied with a good life. It's okay. But when I looked at my cousin and my aunt's daughters, who were in deep grief and pain, and I realized and remembered that it's not about their age, and it's not about your relationship as far as whether mom, dad, brother, sister, child, best friend, uncle, aunt. It's not about that. It's how close were you to that person. That's the key. And my aunt was so wonderful and so loving, and all of her children loved her, and she was very involved in all of her children's life and in all of her grandchildren's lives. She was the rock of the family. Amazing. And my dear cousin is grieving deeply. And my other cousins there as well that are real close to her, and the grandchildren, they're grieving deeply because they miss their mom. Now, they know that their mom's in heaven. She was a very godly woman, and even with her husband in ministry together. But they are missing her so bad. And of course, my 91 uncle he's missing his wife.
Bit lost.
So bad.
Yeah. It's so sad.
It was a tough
and she
thing.
went down so quickly.
Yeah, she did. And that's part of the
so quickly.
Part of the terror of it, of
seems like within
the shock
a few
of it. It's
weeks.
They diagnosed her with cancer just a few weeks before. because they knew something was wrong, but they couldn't figure it out. And they finally figured it out. And then she went down in
really
3
fast.
weeks. So sad.
Yeah.
And back to our
Rocks your
friend
world.
that called us this morning, his good friend, a lady that works at the church in her 50s, been battling cancer for 2 years. And they thought she had whipped it because she was doing the PowerPoint and working behind the sound desk and involved. And then all of a sudden, bam, it hit, and she went down quickly, and she's in hospice now. But they're praying, like you say, and believing. But at the same time, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard.
Yeah.
But let me read to you. My cousin Ronnie she is just an amazing young lady. And she's probably only 10 years younger than me, right?
Yeah,
at the most. And
she's always been your younger cousin.
Yeah, she always has
she
been.
got older too.
Exactly. But she's a dear, and she's very gifted writer and a gifted Bible teacher as well. And she did the whole eulogy for her mom. And this is some of the things she said at the very beginning, which I thought was so beautiful. If you don't mind, I'm going to read them. She said this. She said, she opened up with a quote. She greeted the people first and so on, And then she said, Bill Bennett wrote, "How we walk with the broken speaks louder than how we sit with the great." That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
How we walk with the broken speaks louder than how we sit with the great. Man, that's a powerful, powerful statement. And I think that we all can grow from that. How we treat the brokenhearted, how we treat the hurting people, how we get involved in their lives speaks more than if we get to sit with the greats, We recently did a podcast with Joyce Meyer, and we've done podcasts with Andrew Wommack, and we've sat with some great, wonderful people.
John Tesh.
And John Tesh as well. And those were wonderful moments, and we loved them, and and we're honored. But how you walk with broken people speaks louder than how you sit with great people. And we might as well interject the Joyce Meyer podcast thing now. Maybe it's a little early, but today is, first of all, your birthday.
Oh.
Yes. Everybody sing happy birthday to Jill. So anyway, happy birthday, babe.
Thank you.
It's 28th of October. And you are a very special one. And I love you very, very much.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. But here we go. Ronnie, I was going to say also the 28th is when Joyce Meyer, we're going to be on her program today.
The Talk It Out podcast.
Yeah. So right after you get done listening to this podcast, providing it comes out on the 28th, which I'm pretty sure it's planning to, we always do these a little bit in advance. And so go ahead and switch over to the Talk It Out podcast, Joyce Meyer, Talk It Out podcast.
And there will be a link below. You can just access that.
And then you can go to that podcast and watch it too, because Joyce was so sweet. She was so kind to us. She really promoted our book, and it was just a blessing. She is just such a blessing.
Amazing.
So let me get back to my cousin Ronnie and read to you some of the things she said, which I think is so beautiful. She said, she said the quote, and then she said this. She goes, "Not only is God walking with us through this journey, but he has sent people to help us." And we talk about that in the book so much, Jesus with skin on. Yes, Jesus is a helper. Yes, God is the God of all comfort. Yes, he loves us. Yes, he's with us always, even into the ends of the earth. Yes, he's with us in time of pain, in times of trouble. But Paul said what in Philippians? He said, "But you did good in that you took care of my needs." He said, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." He said, "But you did well by standing with me."
And by sending Titus to him, to support him. Oh my gosh, that was incredible.
Yes. And I was reading scripture this morning and ran across a couple of more of those kinds of scriptures where Paul in Colossians 7:8, he says, Tychicus, I don't know if I'm saying that right,
that's
Tychicus, a beloved brother, faithful minister, and fellow servant in the Lord, will tell you all the news about me. I'm sending him to you for this very purpose, that he may know your circumstances and comfort your hearts. So he was sending Tychicus to go and comfort them. And then a little bit further down, he said, and also Jesus, who is called Justus, they are my only fellow workers here in the kingdom of God. He said, they have proved to be a comfort to me. Paul said, Justus was a comfort to him. So, we're important. And that's why I went to my cousin's funeral. It wasn't easy to break away because she died on like a Wednesday, I think it was, or Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. And bam, the funeral was on Saturday. So we grabbed a quick flight Friday morning. I ran out there real quick. And it was a beautiful time. I mean, I'm so glad I went, and I've said this so many times. I was praying before I left. I said, God, give me words. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm doing the right thing by going. I mean, it's the only right thing. How can you go wrong, to be honest?
Absolutely.
Going to a funeral just to comfort someone, even if you're not seen. And to be honest with you, when I first got there, they were all rushing to get ready, and I said hi. They gave me a hug, said hi, and all of a sudden I thought, well, I guess that's it. And I sat for 2 hours as they went through the receiving line of all their great friends and all the family and all the things. And I just sat there kind of praying for them and looking at all the beautiful slide presentations and finally getting to see a few of my cousins, distant cousins that came. But I kept thinking, Lord, is there a specific purpose for me to be here? Show me. And so after the funeral was over, and I got so blessed by my cousin Ronnie's words, which I'm going to talk about even so a little bit more. But I saw Uncle. I didn't even tell you this. I saw Uncle Harold. He was sitting behind me. I was with Ralph and Coy and some of the others, and he was getting greeted by a lot of people as he's trying to eat. And at one point he was alone. So I turned around and sat in the chair across from him. And we chatted for the next hour. Aww. And he just wanted to talk with me. He wanted to be with me. He wanted to talk. I mean, we spent the whole rest of the time, probably an hour and a half, an hour talking and then walking around together, taking pictures, doing things together. He just wanted to be with me. I walked him out to the car. He said bye at least 10 times and then wanted to talk some more, And then as he's leaving,
he's great.
This is my 91-year-old uncle who just lost his wife of, I don't remember, 50-something years. Yeah. She says it in the eulogy. But here he is, and as I'm saying the final bye, because his son was saying, we got to go, Dad, come on. And so as they're saying the final bye, he said, Charlie, he said, call me later. Call me later, will you? Call me later. It's so sweet. I thought, what a dear, I just love him so much. Yeah. But, I did. I called him later, and we talked and talked and talked. And then when I called him a couple of days later, he goes, Charlie, I just wanted to apologize to you for not getting to see you right before you left. And I said, well, it wasn't your fault. I had to run to the hotel. And anyway, he's just, those who have had losses, they really, really love to talk to people. They love to share their heart. And we need to be those people. Yes, we do. That bring comfort to others.
Yes, we sure do.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and read. I said, that he sent people to help us. And then just one more last couple of sentences. She said this: the gifts of food, the shoulders to cry on, the prayers, the phone calls, the messages have combined to form pillars of strength on which we lean.
That's beautiful.
Not one act of your kindness and love has gone unnoticed. And Joe, you've been really good at that. Like someone has a loss and you'll say, let's send them something, send them some food or something like that,
We usually don't go towards flowers.
Right.
so much. We'll usually go towards something more tangible that's useful.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people receive a lot of flowers and plants because, others, the ones on the outside, they just don't know what to do
Right.
many times.
And it's a sweet gesture. I
it
mean,
is
this was a
sweet-
traditional New Orleans, Louisiana,
Yes.
Catholic kind of orientated
Well,
area.
Baptist.
And I mean, the plants and the flowers on the
yeah.
platform were
Yeah.
out of control.
Yeah. And that's, it always adds a lot of beauty, but, when it's all over, it kind of, it's a lot to take care of, a lot to have to put away, so just pray about if you come across a situation, and just make sure that, you're wanting to send a gesture, a meaningful gesture, but just pray about it for a moment and make sure, should I send a flower or a plant? And sometimes it is appropriate, just depends. Or should I send some food or have something delivered or whatever, just a little tip.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. And, I think on the next podcast, I think I want to talk to those who've had losses and minister to them some things that I've been having in my heart about how the Lord just is near to us in our pain, because, we so easily, I know this one has been focused a lot more on, how to comfort people. And it's people, training on how to be a better blessing and how to be a better comforter. But I think on the next broadcast, I've got a few things that I want to share just about how to help you if you've had loss. And of course, I know all this helps you, because it's kind of like when someone talks about this, I always go, yes, 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 because that helps me, because they're saying what I can't say. And so we hope that this has blessed you and helped you in some ways. And we have something real exciting coming up.
Yeah, we do. Well, next week, on November 6th, it's a Thursday evening, we have our first ever Finding Hope for the Holidays live event.
Yes.
And there's a link below that you can click on. We would love for you to join us. We're just going to share some things. The holidays are coming up. And for me personally, that's one of the toughest times of the year, because, there's just so many factors that play into it, with all the joyful music and most wonderful time of the year and all that. That was a really serious season in our lives right before our son passed. He passed the middle of January. And so he was very ill during that season of Christmas before he passed. And it brings a lot of tenderness to us every year. And it's been over 16 years. And so there's things we just want to encourage you, especially if you've had a loss in the last few years, or a loss, maybe it's been a while, but it's still really impacting you. We just want to sit down in a live situation, talk about it, and share some tips. And we're putting together a free gift for you, which you'll be able to download if you register. So please go to that link below, Finding Hope for the Holidays, and register. We hope to also have time for some Q&A. So bring your questions, and we just look forward to it being a really powerful event. It's not going to go real long, so don't be afraid of, having to keep you up late that night. But we really want to help, because the holidays can really suck for people.
They can be tough, very, very tough. And I know that the people that we've ministered to that have had losses that we've been able to get personally involved with, that you're always giving them warning about anniversaries and holidays and different seasons that they need to be prepared for.
Yes.
You shouldn't want to sit in your house alone as a widow on Christmas or on Thanksgiving or any anniversary.
Just to plan ahead.
Of your loved one. So that's a week and a half away, actually. It's a Thursday. It's not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that. I pray that you guys can get the word out for us, tell other people about it as well.
And if you don't get to listen to this on the day it comes out, the date is November 6th. It's Thursday evening, November 6th. So be sure and register. We hope you join us.
Yes.
We just want to be a help to you.
Right. And don't forget to, when we're done with this podcast, which we're about ready to be finished, to go and look for Joyce Meyer's podcast called Talk It Out.
Yep.
Just go on your little podcast thing and look for Joyce Meyer, Talk It Out. And there you'll see us being interviewed again with Joyce. And we're just thrilled that she invited us to do this.
It was a real privilege.
Just a real honor and privilege. And as many of you know, our book, she also did a foreword in our book. And she was just, I wept when I read the foreword when she sent it to me, because it was so endearing. And she's a very compassionate woman, and she understands pain because of the abuse she had as a child and having to come out of that. It was just dreadful. And so many people have had dreadful situations that they're having to go through. And our hearts go out to you if you're going through that really difficult time as well.
Yes.
So
we want to encourage you to get a hold of our book. It's on audio. It's on Kindle download or ebook. And then we have the physical copy, which we can get to you in just a short time. If you're in the U.S. or UK, we have free shipping on all that. So,
right.
Yeah.
And don't forget the thumbs up.
Oh, yeah. Like this. And share it. We just want to reach more people. And you can really help us. Leave us a review and leave us a review on our book somewhere. It's really helpful, whether it's our website, whether it's Amazon.
Yeah, and leave a comment on the podcast as well.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section, and we'll try to address them as we move forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So God bless you. We sure love you. We're praying for you if you're going through a dark time in your life. We always pray for all of our friends and all of our podcast listeners, partners. And so God bless you, and thank you for joining us. And we'll see you again next Tuesday. God bless.
See you guys.